This looks unbelievable. Wow.
Welcome back, everybody, to another segment of Tech Talks with Dino and me, Dan. We're going to talk to you about our fleet pads and some of the misconceptions as to when to use the pad that was originally used on the vehicle, an OE type of pad, versus when you should really be choosing a pad that's designed for a severe duty fleet application. So, Dino, if you can walk us through, really help our viewers decide when they should use one versus the other.
Well, as you mentioned, these are really designed for fleet applications, and the reason why is fleet managers depend on these types of products to get to the finish line of their preventative maintenance schedule. That's really what really matters most. So whether that's 20 or 30 or 40 or 50,000 miles, they're going to expect a product to go that distance so the vehicle's not down. You know, some of these fleet vehicles are in continuous operation. And so, and being in continuous operation, sometimes heavily laden, you know, they're constantly operating at a high heat threshold. So, you know, the typical pad can work well and wear well. You know, it needs to wear well throughout the whole temperature range. But these are really focused for wearing well, exceptionally well at the higher end of the range.
So what you're saying is, if the vehicle's being used constantly, the vehicle doesn't have a chance to cool off.
Yep.
The brakes are always hot.
Yes. Any kind of service vehicle, you know, they're typically heavily laden with all those things you just mentioned. And, you know, if doing that in an area, let's say, where there's a lot of hills or, you know.
Or just a lot of stop and go.
A lot of stop and go. Yeah, because even slow speed but constant stop and go will also wreak havoc on these things. So that's what they're really designed to do, is to give the
so the pad, what you're saying is,
wear.
and what you're saying is the pad is always hot. And from when we were preparing for this discussion, you're explaining to me how if the pad is always hot, that tends to reduce the wear if it's not designed to withstand that heat all the time.
Yeah, so typically, and where we sell a lot of these actually is in some of the quote-unquote lighter duty vehicles, like you know, 1500 series trucks, but there's even some 2500 and even some 3500 trucks that have ceramic pads built in, and ceramic pads are excellent, and the OEMs know exactly what they're doing when they're making these products. But in all things being equal, the ceramic pads in the wear cycle will have excellent city traffic wear characteristics, where, you know, it's normal use. But when you start pushing it, you can see in the wear test, in the sections of the wear test, that where there's either high speeds involved or hilly sections involved, these severe duty fleet pads, you know, will have much better wear than those types of products. So if the vehicle is always operating in those modes, this is the product that you need for it. And especially, as I mentioned earlier on, for fleet managers to know that their product will, you know, their vehicles will go to that point where they require it to go. Again, whatever that preventive maintenance schedule is written down as, these pads are designed to go to that level.
Got it.
So that's what they depend on.
So when a fleet wants to maintain that same schedule of having the vehicle on the road and not having premature brake pad wear,
right?
This is really the brake pad for them.
Oh yeah, because, you know, if that doesn't happen, it throws a monkey wrench in the works. That vehicle's taken down, it's out of service, it's not making money for the company that they're working for. You know, it just really puts a monkey wrench in the works, is what I like to say. So this will prevent that.
Got it. So something else I know is, you know, we're making this video in 2023, and we already have applications for 2023.
Actually, we have applications for 2024. Yes.
2024. So
yes.
I know why that's important, especially during COVID, right? When everybody started ordering things online, they were at home buying a lot of stuff. All these transit vehicles were all over the place, Sprinters, ProMasters, you name it.
Right.
And they were new vehicles on the road at that time, and all of a sudden they were going through pads like crazy.
We had instant demand for these things. Yes.
Yes. Well, nobody else, as far as I know, except for the dealership, In fact, even the dealership ran out of them.
They still are in certain vehicles. Yeah.
Right, yeah, but we had them.
We had them, and we have them, even for these new ones. Like, yes.
So if you could imagine, not only do we have the pad that's designed for severe duty fleet application, but if it's not available for a vehicle, could you imagine having part or maybe your entire fleet down because you can't service your customers because there's no brakes available for them? Our first to market commitment has the parts available even for new vehicles, whereas a fleet vehicle usually can go through pads within the first 3 months.
3 or 4 months of operations. I mean, they could torch their pads, and then they're left to only going through the dealer. The dealer typically will run out, and then all mayhem ensues.
Got
But
it.
that's where we fit. That's where we come in and can supply the market with a premium offering that can meet or exceed their expectations.
And then and like you said, you're already working on 2024 vehicles.
Correct.
So that when those are ready to be released into the market, we have the products on the shelf and readily available for when those fleet vehicles start needing brakes very, very soon into their service cycle. Now you know when really is the right time to choose between an OE pad like our 5000 series advanced pad, or when you need to step into a severe duty, heavy duty type of pad for that application. So thank you again for joining us. Dino, thanks again, and stay tuned for the next video.
Thank you.